Thank you both for being here with me today. I want to start by asking, what is it like having this show about to be out in the world? You can sense the pride that you all have in this show. So what's it like having it out?
Oh, what is it? Like it's nervy. It's like that.
Like this. It's like this,
Those
which
are
is
your-
good.
Yeah. But it's a happy.
Yeah, and then
Never to put it
yeah,
down.
Yeah.
I want to hear about the friendship between these two characters. There's never any trepidation to be there for one another. I think we talk a lot about romantic relationships on screen, but friendship stories are equally important and often not always as excavated.
Yeah, I think that's really one of the things that really drew both of us to the project was because we both have our real life, like the Nikki to our Molly and the Molly to our Nikki. Like we have that person who, just as you said, the answer is always yes. Like without a question, I'll be there. And that there's a reciprocity. It's so natural, and it's not about like who I need you to be for me. It's who I need you to be for you. And if this is something that's going to bring you to your fulfillment, like that's what I'm on this ride for.
This show was created by women. It's largely written by women, largely directed by women. It's based on a podcast created by a woman. Can you talk about this experience and how it enriches or changes the production process when getting to be surrounded by so many women?
Too many women. I can't believe that
Everyone was so sensitive. Yeah, we just could never roll because everyone was getting their periods. It was so annoying. God, be professional. One thing I want is to just live in a structure that is other than the structure of patriarchy. I want a system where people behave in a way that fosters self-respect, individuality, concern for community, a hope for change, a hope for even more openness. And I do think we had that on our set. I like to think of that as something that anyone of any gender identity can be a part of. If people take anything from our show, they can take that there are new ways of feeling your own power and they're available to you. You can define them and search them out in any way you want to. There's not one way to be powerful.
We talked a lot about on this, like the female gaze. Like, what does it look like to look? What does it feel like to look at sexuality? What does it feel like to look at a woman alone masturbating? What's the female gaze on this subject matter? And can we achieve that? Because they say like all of cinema is a male gaze. And is there a way to take some of that back for ourselves?
There's that wonderful scene where Sonia, played by Esco Jule, in like the most beautiful performance, where they say sex is a waveform. It's not a linear thing. It's not, there's this sense that we've perhaps been distracted from the truth, which is that we can break the form.
Sex is a wave. No, sex is a mindset. Sex is the non-linear emergent phenomenon that arises when two or more beings, they touch energy fields.
I agree, because I think that you recognize it too. I think that you recognize instantaneously, wait, there's more than this.
Right.
Like I was told that it had to be linear, it could only be one thing, but my humanity actually codes with the fact that it's more dimensional and more allowing of me and you and you and you and you than what we were programmed to believe.
How conscious were you in the making of this show about the effect it might have on the audience beyond just viewing pleasure, but also evoking conversation?
I think ultimately that's kind of like your secret wish, hope, and desire, is that it sort of goes a little bit further than entertainment. But of course you want people to be moved, you want people to enjoy it, you want people to get pleasure out of it, you want them to laugh, you want them to call back to it, you want them to like retell the jokes, you want all of that.
Yeah.
And then ultimately if you let yourself desire a little bit past that, it's that a seed is planted, or like some sort of larger idea of like acceptance or self-love or compassion, extension of compassion can take place and become more than an idea.
Jenny, you said in a recent interview that you poured your heart into this work. And I'm wondering what that was like from a process perspective. And I imagine it creates a pride. Yeah, what did it mean to you to pour your heart into the work?
Pouring my heart into it for me in that personal way was just like really being open to what anyone else was kind enough to give me in the scene. And of course, like Michelle is the most miraculous performer to even be around. But I do think like a lot of giving your heart as a gift, pouring your heart into something, is because you think that that thing or that person is a gift in themselves.
And just Michelle, I'm curious too. I mean, obviously, Jenny was the one that said that she poured her whole heart into it, but I get the sense that you too poured a big part of your heart. So, what was it like for you to sort of have this experience?
When you're playing people who have, in my case, somebody who's no longer here, you feel like you are in a debt of gratitude that you're trying to repay because you've been entrusted with them and they've given you so much to work with. And that really you're trying to get the message of their life across. You know, this woman lived in a way that I find incomparably brave and inspiring. And she's given me all the material to work with, all these beautiful details, all this heart, all this humanity, all this compassion. And I want to wrap all of that up and like deliver it on her behalf. So it does feel like a passionate telling because we feel so responsible to these two women and to their love for each other and how they held each other and how they took each other to the darkest places and found the light. And that does feel like my whole heart engaged in this action.
Thank you both. I'm so excited
Thank
for the
you.
world to experience this show.
Thank you.
Thank you.